Last year, I made $80,000, and I had almost nothing to show for it. No, I wasn't buying Lamborghinis. I wasn't blowing money at clubs. I wasn't even living that extravagantly. I was doing what most people would call normal. Decent apartment, nice car payment, eating out a few times a week, the occasional vacation, and somehow, every single month, the money just disappeared. I'd check my bank account on the 28th and think, where did it go? I make good money. I should be fine, but I wasn't fine. I had maybe $2,000 saved, no real investments, and a creeping low-level anxiety that I was doing everything right and somehow falling behind anyway. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you because nobody talks about this, and I figured out exactly why it happens and what to actually do about it. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to understand something most financial advice completely ignores, and I promise, it's not your fault in the way you think it is. Here's the thing nobody tells you when you get your first real salary. Earning more doesn't automatically mean keeping more. There's actually a name for what happens next. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it is silent, it is gradual, and it will eat every raise you ever get. When you were earning $40,000, you drove a used Honda, you ate ramen, you had a roommate, then you got promoted. And slowly, not all at once, things upgraded. The apartment got nicer, the car payment crept up, the grocery store switched from budget brands to organic. The streaming subscriptions multiplied. None of those individual choices felt reckless. Each one felt earned. You work hard, you deserve a comfortable life, and that's completely true. But here's what's happening mathematically. At 24, making $40,000, your fixed costs were maybe $1,800 a month. Rent sharing with a roommate, cheap car, basic phone plan. That left room. Fast forward 5 years, you're making $80,000, double. But now rent is $1,500 on your own place. Car payment is $450. Insurance went up. You have a gym membership you actually use, a better phone, maybe a pet. Subscriptions you've forgotten about. Takeout because you're tired after long work days. A weekend trip here and there because, again, you earned it. Your fixed and semi-fixed costs didn't double when your salary did. They tripled, and the gap between what you earn and what you spend quietly closed to almost nothing. This isn't about being irresponsible. This is what happens when your expenses grow faster than your financial systems do. And most people never build the systems because nobody taught them to. There are 4 specific things draining high earners right now, and I want to walk through all 4 because you're probably experiencing at least 3 of them, and you might not even know it. Culprit number 1 is fixed cost creep. These are the expenses you've committed to before the month even starts. Rent or mortgage, car payment, insurance, subscriptions, loan repayments. For most people earning $80,000, fixed costs alone consume 50 to 60% of take-home pay before you buy a single meal, before you fill your gas tank, before you do anything fun. The brutal truth is that fixed costs are the hardest to cut because they feel non-negotiable, and many of them genuinely are. But a lot of them crept in over time, and you just absorbed them. You never did a full audit. So the first exercise I want you to do right after this video is list every single recurring charge on your bank and credit card statements from the last 3 months. Everyone, I guarantee you will find at least $200 a month in subscriptions and services you'd forgotten about or barely use. That's $2,400 a year. Gone. Culprit number 2 is the invisible tax shock. Here's something that genuinely surprises a lot of people when they start earning more. An $80,000 salary does not mean you take home $80,000. After federal income tax, state tax, Social Security, Medicare, and in many states, city taxes, you might be taking home $52,000 to $58,000. Maybe less. That's roughly $4,500 a month, but you've been mentally budgeting against $80,000. That gap between the number on your offer letter and the number that hits your account is one of the biggest hidden reasons people feel behind despite a good salary. The fix here is simple, but almost nobody does it. Build your entire budget around your actual net income, not your gross salary. If you've never done that, pull up last month's pay stub right now and write down the real number. Everything changes from there. Culprit number 3 is what I call the convenience premium. When you're busy and earning well, you start paying for time. And that is not inherently bad. Your time has real value, but the convenience premium compounds in ways most people never account for. Think about it. Food delivery adds a delivery fee, a service fee, a tip. You just paid $22 for a meal you could have made for 6. Ride shares instead of driving, same-day shipping, dry cleaning instead of doing laundry, premium grocery stores because they're closer, a personal trainer because you'll actually go. These aren't luxuries in your mind. They're just how you live now. Individually, each one makes sense. Together, they can easily add up to $800 to $1,200 a month in spending you've never consciously chosen. You didn't decide to spend that money. It just happens, automatically, as the path of least resistance. The fix isn't to eliminate convenience. It's to make it a line item. Decide how much convenience spending you're comfortable with each month. Name it and track it. That one act alone, just naming it, cuts it by 30% in most people. Awareness, yay, is the intervention. Culprit number 4 is the most important, and it's a mindset problem. Almost everyone who earns well but saves nothing has the same system. Spend through the month and save whatever happens to be left at the end, which is usually close to nothing because expenses, especially discretionary ones, expand to fill the available space. Always, the complete reversal of this, and it sounds almost too simple, is to pay yourself first. The moment your salary hits, before any discretionary spending happens, a fixed amount moves automatically into savings or investments, not whatever's left. A predetermined amount. First, if you could save just 15% of your net income the moment it arrives, on an $80,000 salary, that's roughly $550 a month, and invest it consistently over 10 years, you'd have more than $100,000 at a conservative 7% average return from a habit. That takes 2 minutes to set up. The money you never see in your checking account is money you never spend. Your brain simply adjusts to the lower number. This is the single highest leverage change you can make. And it costs nothing. Here's what I really want you to take from this. Being broke on a high salary is not a character flaw. It is not proof that you're bad with money. It is the completely predictable outcome of a system nobody designed consciously, where your expenses quietly outpaced your savings rate and nobody ever gave you a structure to stop it. The people who build real wealth aren't always the highest earners in the room. They're the people with the clearest picture of where their money goes and the simplest systems to make sure some of it sticks. You don't need to earn more to start. You need to see more clearly. And if this video did anything, I hope it gave you at least one thing you didn't see before. Now I want to hear from you, and I mean this genuinely. Drop in the comments. Which of the 4 culprits hit closest to home? The fixed cost creep, the tax shock, the convenience premium, or the save what's left trap? Tell me your number. I read every comment in the first hour, and if someone in your life needs to hear this, a friend, a sibling, a coworker who complains about being broke on a good salary, send it to them. It might be the most useful thing you send someone this month. If you're new here, I make videos about the stuff financial advice misses. The real life, real salary, real anxiety stuff. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I'm already working on the follow-up to this, a step-by-step walkthrough of the exact budget structure I use that I'll release next week. If you want that when it drops, subscribe now. It builds directly on everything we talked about today. Thanks for watching. Seriously, see you next week.